The whole description she does of the Portland hospital, the birth, that was completely fabricated.
Did Meghan Markle use a surrogate? That's been something posited literally for well over 3 years.
We all know the first interview was given to CBS. We all know that she never intended to go to the Portland hospital. She intended to have the baby at home.
Oh, you won't believe what's going on. Harry is losing it, Meghan is hiding out, and Tom Bauer, he's not here to play nice. He's coming for the truth, and honey, nothing and no one is going to survive this one.
Questions about the children and whether they were born naturally, and this is something that I've discussed in detail with Lady Colin Campbell.
Forget everything you know about journalists and tabloid drama. Tom Bauer is a different beast entirely. The kind of man who makes billionaires sweat through their designer suits, politicians tremble in their tailored ties, and palace aides triple-check every single word that leaves their mouths. This man has spent 4 decades taking down the untouchables. Maxwell tried to stop him, failed. Branson took him to court, lost. Conrad Black, obliterated. Bauer doesn't miss.
Attack on the Mail, which is astonishing. That Meghan, we know she lied in her statement that she says that she didn't cooperate with Omid Scobie, and she said that...
And now? Oh, now Tom Bauer's gaze is locked on Harry and Meghan, the couple that spent years crafting their perfect little narrative, polishing every photo op, and scripting every line like a Hollywood rom-com. The same duo who figured out how to turn victimhood into a business model. But guess what? The tables have turned. The hunters just became the hunted. The Sussexes, once the masters of spin, are now the prey, and Bauer is circling like a shark that smells blood.
Any personal view on that situation?
I will say that, like a lot of people, I saw the Getty images of the pillow.
From the very beginning, Meghan's pregnancy with Archie wasn't just mysterious. It was weird. Not your typical royal secrecy. No, this was Hollywood on steroids kind of weird. No traditional Lindo wing photo ops. No glowing hospital exit smiles. No press snapping the happy new parents. Nothing. Instead, Meghan and Harry went full lockdown. Every detail sealed tighter than a Netflix NDA. The world got a bland press release and about 1 million burning questions.
Writing the letter to her father. That was in a sworn written statement.
Portland Hospital. That's where Meghan said Archie was born. But whispers started circulating. Staff saw nothing. No noise, no movement, no sign of royal security or medical chaos. No leaks, no timing announcements, just silence. For a royal birth, that's unheard of. Usually these things are events. But this one, it was like it never happened. So people started to ask the obvious. Why so secretive? What on earth were they hiding?
Photoshopped, but Getty Images is very reliable. I questioned why nobody...
Rumors started swirling like a tornado. Palace insiders whispered behind closed doors, social media went wild, and conspiracy theories bloomed overnight. Some even claimed Archie wasn't born in the UK at all. There were no ambulance escorts, no confirmed medical staff, no verified records, just a deep, uncomfortable silence. And if those rumors turned out to be true, oh baby, that wouldn't just be gossip, that would be a royal scandal of historic proportions, the kind that could shake up the line of succession itself.
Admits that it was untrue, but a lawyer says Meghan didn't lie. Well, extraordinary how the whole thing is unraveling.
And yet they don't produce any...
Then came the birth certificate bombshell. Weeks after Archie's birth, Meghan had the document quietly edited. Poof! Her real name, Rachel Meghan, just vanished. All that remained? Her royal title. A slick PR move, or maybe a not-so-subtle statement. I'm no longer just Meghan Markle. I'm royalty now. The palace scrambled to respond, issuing one of their rare denials, while aides behind the scenes reportedly gasped in absolute shock. Another day, another rogue Meghan maneuver.
And I thought, gee, if she was, remember when Demi Moore did that beautiful thing on Vanity Fair where she showed her beautiful belly? I thought that was really cool. Like, if you are so proud of your baby, your marriage, and God, if you have...
All that secrecy, the edited birth certificate, the missing hospital trails, it didn't calm the speculation, it supercharged it. People weren't just curious anymore, they were suspicious. And Tom Bauer, he could smell the blood in the water. The stage was perfectly set, and the world was about to watch Meghan's carefully crafted fairy tale start to unravel in real time.
William being a bully, for example, this idea that the royal family was conspiring with the press to bring...
By now, the whispers had turned into full-blown gossip storms. Palace sources were finally talking. Off the record, of course. And what they were hinting at made the story murkier than anyone ever expected. No ambulances, no official logs, no staff sightings, just nothing.
Royal physicians examine your womb. I don't know about her, but I would be all over that. There would be like a Vogue magazine cover, proud.
Normally, a royal birth is the media event of the year. Tightly documented, meticulously choreographed, cameras flashing. But this? It was bizarre. So bizarre that people started asking the kind of questions that make Buckingham Palace very nervous. Was Archie even born in London? Speculation went nuclear. Some insiders whispered that Archie might not have been born in the UK at all. If that were true, it wouldn't just be scandalous, it would be catastrophic. It could call into question royal lineage, citizenship, the entire chain of succession. Imagine the headline, "Royal Birth Exposed as Fake." The thought alone sent shockwaves across royal circles and set social media ablaze. But it wasn't just where Archie was born that raised eyebrows. It was everything. The timing, the total secrecy, the lack of witnesses. It all seemed rehearsed. Like every moment was being directed, controlled, manipulated. People started whispering, was Meghan hiding the truth or just writing her own script? Was all this privacy really a cover-up for narrative control? And then came the PR earthquake. Weeks later, Meghan quietly edited Archie's birth certificate again, removing her own first names, leaving just her royal title. To the palace, this wasn't a small change. Oh no, this was a statement. A bold, unapologetic, I make the rules now power move. Tom Bower saw it all. The secrecy, the edits, the manipulations. To him, this wasn't random behavior. It was a pattern of control, of deception, of obsession with image. And for Bower, that was the first crack in the Sussex fairy tale. One he was ready to blow wide open. Weeks after Archie's birth, Meghan dropped a bomb so quiet yet so explosive it left palace insiders gasping. She again edited that birth certificate, erasing her first names, Rachel Meghan, completely gone. Only her royal title stood. No announcement, no explanation, just a silent flex. I'm untouchable now. I am royalty. Some compared it to propaganda. Bold, calculated, theatrical. Joseph Goebbels himself would have applauded that level of spin. One insider muttered, "This wasn't a clerical error. This was strategic PR warfare." The palace was blindsided. Statements were issued, denials made. But behind closed doors, the whispers spread like wildfire. Meghan had gone rogue. Again, it was more than a signature on paper. It was a power play. By scrubbing her non-royal name, Meghan was declaring, I write my own story. I don't play by your rules. The centuries-old palace machine suddenly looked powerless against her. And then Tom Bower entered the chat, dissecting every move, every contradiction, every flicker of spin. For him, this wasn't drama, it was evidence, and he was ready to expose every hidden corner of the Sussex fairy tale. Bower wasn't just watching, he was calculating. Every whisper, every public move, every PR stunt became part of a bigger puzzle. Harry, he was panicking. Meghan, cool as ice, because for her, this wasn't chaos, it was choreography. Every leak, every mistake, every camera angle, deliberate, controlled. To the world, they looked calm. But inside, the walls were closing in. Bower had just declared open war, and he did it live on national television. No yelling, no drama, just cold precision, like a hunter calmly loading his rifle. And with that single sentence, Meghan Markle's perfect PR wall began to crack. The reaction was instant and explosive. Royal commentators gawked, fans gasped, even palace insiders reportedly paused, realizing this was bigger than an interview. It was a warning shot, because Bower never speaks idly. If he says he's after someone, it means the research is done. The evidence is ready. Every secret, every inconsistency from Meghan's pregnancy to Archie's mysterious birth, it was all part of his dossier. For Harry, this was pure panic. For Meghan, a slow, creeping dread. Because this wasn't gossip anymore. This was an investigation. When Revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the war between the Windsors finally hit bookstores, it didn't just make waves. It detonated like a bomb. Every chapter was designed to dismantle their image piece by piece. That fairy tale image, the glamorous couple who escaped royal oppression to live freely in California, gone. Instead, Bower painted a picture of control, manipulation, and chaos behind the scenes. One shocking moment described Meghan allegedly throwing tea in a palace office. A tiny detail that, according to staff, summed up everything wrong with her behavior. Demanding, volatile, exhausting. So much for the gracious, modern Duchess. Bower didn't stop there. He tore into the Oprah interview, line by line, claim by claim. Where Meghan and Harry preached privacy, Bauer revealed manipulation. Where they cried victimhood, he showed strategic PR. This wasn't emotional storytelling, it was marketing. And the palace? They said nothing. No denials, no angry statements, not a word, because royal silence speaks louder than any press release. And in this case, that silence was devastating. To the world, it looked like quiet acceptance, as if the palace was saying, let Bauer do what we can't. That's the secret of the monarchy's power. Strategic silence. When scandals hit, they don't fight the fire. They let someone else burn the enemies for them. And this time, Bauer was their match. By refusing to respond, the palace gave his words weight. Every tabloid headline, every YouTube breakdown, every TikTok gossip thread carried the unspoken assumption, if it wasn't true, the palace would have denied it. They didn't. For Harry and Meghan, that silence was terrifying. It wasn't just that their reputation was under attack. It was that the palace had stopped protecting them. The same palace they'd accused, the same system they'd fled, now stood back and watched them fall. It was royal warfare, quiet, calculated, and devastatingly effective. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, royal sources whispered that senior figures, including William and Charles, weren't exactly unhappy about it. For years, they'd watched Harry and Meghan criticize the family on global stages, cashing in on royal drama, Now finally, someone was pushing back. Bauer was doing what they couldn't, and the monarchy didn't have to lift a finger. The fallout was immediate. Netflix executives reportedly freaked out. Spotify panicked. Sponsors hesitated. What had once been sold as a tale of courage and compassion suddenly looked like calculated victimhood. The Sussex brand, once built on empathy and authenticity, now looked like a PR illusion. And Tom Bauer wasn't done. Because while revenge was tearing through headlines, he was already working on his next bombshell, The Archie Deception, a title that alone was enough to send shivers through royal watchers. Whispers about this new project said it would go even deeper, into the inconsistencies around Archie's birth, the secrecy, the conflicting statements. Every unexplained detail, every timeline that didn't quite add up. Bauer was allegedly assembling a forensic case, with documents, testimony, emails, and insider accounts that would make even Buckingham Palace squirm. He wasn't out to speculate, he was out to prove. This wasn't gossip anymore, it was dissection. For Meghan and Harry, this was DEFCON 1. Their entire post-royal empire, the Hollywood deals, the speeches, the memoirs, all relied on one thing, the victim narrative. They'd built a global brand on being misunderstood heroes, but Bauer's work threatened to pull the foundation right out from under them. Before Meghan's own memoir could even hit the shelves, the whispers about the Archie deception were already tainting it. No one wanted to read a fairy tale when the truth might be far uglier. And that's the thing about Tom Bauer. He's relentless. He's not chasing clicks. He's not interested in celebrity gossip. He's after control, contradiction, and exposure. Every time Meghan tried to reset the narrative, Bauer found a crack. Every exclusive interview, every private detail, every emotional confession became part of the evidence. For him, the story isn't just about the Sussexes, it's about power, image, and how far people will go to protect the lie they live in. So here we are, years later, and the game is still playing out. Harry and Meghan thought they could control their story, that the palace couldn't touch them. But Tom Bauer doesn't need permission. He doesn't need a press office or a PR campaign or a crown. All he needs is the truth. And once he's found it, there's no stopping him. Every whisper, every rumor, every hidden detail about Archie's birth, about Meghan's control, about Harry's panic, all of it's under the microscope. And when the Archie deception finally drops, it won't just be another book, it'll be a reckoning, because this time, the Sussex fairy tale might not survive the truth.